All right, let's talk about the state of the Rangers with Daily Faceoff's morning cup of hockey co-host Jonny Lazarus. Jay Lazzy in the building. What's going on, my man? You ready? You ready to talk about some Rangers hockey?
I don't know if I'm ready, but let's just get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
All right, here we go. This is me ripping it off because speaking of Band-Aids, this is a team that's been hit hard with some injuries to some stars. You know it. Igor is down. Adam Fox is out again. He's on LTIR. If you're Chris Drury, do you go with that next man up mentality and ride those injuries out? Or are you going to actively make some moves to try and bring some guys in so you can separate yourselves in the East?
I think this franchise wants to win hockey games. I think they want to get to the playoffs. I think that's been the goal since day one, since they extended Chris Drury over the summer, since they brought in Mike Sullivan. These are the guys in their positions to try to win and not to, let's say, tear it all down and start fresh. That might be what the fans want, but I don't think that's what the organization wants. And this next stretch of games until the Olympic break, the Rangers are playing against winnable opponents. I know people say there are no easy games in the NHL, which I do believe, but there is a strength of schedule. And when you look at the next course of the Rangers' opponents, it's the Buffalo Sabres, the Boston Bruins, Seattle Kraken, Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers. Then they go on their West Coast trip and play the Ducks, Kings, Sharks. Then they're back home against the Bruins, 2 against the Islanders, 1 against the Penguins, 1 against the Canes. I know it's a lot of games that I just listed, but that's the stretch of games where they're going to be without Fox and Shesterkin. And once the Olympic break is over, if you're looking for a silver lining, Fox, Shesterkin, and Artemi Panarin, the Rangers' 3 most important and best players, will be well rested after that 3-week Olympic break. So it's a very interesting timeline. And if the Rangers can remain 500 or slightly above 500 and be within 5-6 points of a wild card by the time the Olympics come up, they're going to go for the playoffs.
There's a lot of Rangers fans that's starting to kind of irk me, like Yankees fans. Like they're turning into hockey Karens, as you saying. 3 points out of a wild card. You can use it too. You can use it because 3 points out of a wild card spot, like you just said, everybody's hit the panic button from the fan base to the media saying, "Oh, blow the team up, blow this core out, hit the trade people, sellers, be sellers." You mentioned that you think this team can make the playoffs, or they're playing to make the playoffs. Do you think this team can make the playoffs or the postseason with the roster as it is right now?
You're saying without Fox and Shesterkin?
No. With Fox and Shesterkin when they come back.
Yeah, listen, I think the Rangers, they have the best goaltender in the NHL. They have a top defenseman in the NHL. They have, some guys that haven't produced as much as fans would like them to, or even themselves would have liked to see. But with the strength of the East right now, I think the Rangers are right there in the wild card. Like my prediction for before the season was that they're a first-round exit. I still believe that is going to be the case. I know that's nothing to be happy about or write home about, but that's just, I think, how the roster was built. And that's the problem with the roster right now is that the Rangers are almost in this area where they're somewhat stuck. They have a lot of older guys who have no movement clauses in their contracts. So, they have to accept being traded. And it's not always something that is easy to get done. It's more of a conversation that usually happens over the summer. We saw it happen last summer with Chris Kreider, and he went to Anaheim. But I don't think these guys, like the names I'm hearing are the Vinny Trocheks, the Mika Zibanejad. Obviously, JT Miller was just brought over here, named captain, Adam Fox. Those guys, you can't move without them accepting it. And not every guy wants to uproot their family's lives or be away from their family. So it's a difficult situation to be in for the Rangers. And like James Dolan said on WFAN the other day, he wants to remain patient and he believes in Chris Drury and believes in Mike Sullivan. And, that's what they're going to do. They're going to let this play out and see how it goes, I think, over the next couple of weeks before the Olympic break.
Yeah, Dolan also said that Drury and Sullivan are installing a new culture into that club. Are you seeing that culture, and are you buying what James Dolan said?
I think it's been an improvement from last year, but it's still not as good as what myself and fans would have hoped for. Again, JT Miller was hurt in training camp. The Rangers have dealt with injuries all year long. Adam Fox was out. Now Igor is out. Fox came back and he's out again. So the Rangers haven't really played a lot of games where their team has been fully healthy, and that does, affect the season. That said, I think there have been a lot of moments this year that have been disappointing. Opponents running goaltenders having to stand up for themselves. Guys not really backing up their teammates, quote unquote, as some people like to say about the Rangers. When Fox got hit and got hurt, no one really did anything to Brandon Hagel. Usually NHL players, they see one of their star guys go down, you'd think there'd be some sort of response. In Fox's case, there wasn't, even if it was a clean hit. But, there have been some guys like Sam Carrick who has dropped the gloves in every moment he's needed to. Matt Rempe would be doing it more if he, wasn't trying to get back to 100% from an injury. JT hasn't really done that much yet. While he's saying the right things, I still think JT expects more from himself on the ice. Vinny Trocheck, came back from injury earlier in the year and really settled things down when the Rangers were struggling at home and struggling to score. But I still think he expects better from himself. And, there still is a lot of hockey to be played. We're only halfway through the year, and these guys can keep on trying to build and build and build. And hopefully by game 65, 70, they have something that they really feel strong about. So, I have learned to be patient and understanding of how long a season really is. I'm not going to decide who the New York Rangers are in January. I'll decide who they are in March, post-trade deadline, when they're really pushing in that final stretch for the playoffs. So I'm not one to give up, but I understand why fans have chosen to give up.
Real quick, 7th in the Met right now. You got the Sabres playing at the Garden tonight. How big would a win be for them building and building and building on that momentum you were just talking about?
Yeah, it'd be huge. I mean, listen, if there's one thing to point at and say this guy has been incredible all year when needed, it's Jonathan Quick. His numbers are by far one of the best backup numbers or stats a backup goalie can have. And Jonathan Quick, is one of the better leaders and bigger leaders in that locker room. You saw him step up for Igor the other night when he went at Daniil Boot. After Daniil Boot collided with him, Igor got hurt and Quick tried to make some sort of statement in that game. He's been aggressive. He's been competitive. He's been just everything they have needed in someone who can set a tone and calm things down in moments of need. So if Jonathan Quick can have a great performance tonight against a Buffalo Sabres team that has been winning a lot lately, that'll certainly set the next few weeks in the right direction.
All right, Jay Lazzy, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you.